Alright, welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings in the YouTube Atheist Community and Tiny Chat informative content and such. Yeah, well, that's what we hope. Anyway, yeah, so it was fun actually. A little bit, mostly, kind of. It moved along quite adequately. Women's and such, which always helps. There's a bunch of hair caught in my camera. Anyway, head here. Anyway, yeah, smoking a cigarette. Got some cigarettes this morning and hugged a girl and such. Yeah, it was very nice. Very nice. Anyway, but I haven't had any sleep, which is not good. And, you know, I have to progress through the day. So, a little bit disconnected in my thought process. So, anything of interest in Tiny Chat necessary to get to? You know, same old in a lot of ways. Some constructive conversation, trolly people, maybe the Carla guy outed himself. I don't know. He's denying it, but he doesn't deny it, but he does. But who knows? But anyway, interesting it nonetheless. Kind of an interesting troll episode. I mean, he got banned like 8 times, just kept coming back, and finally became tolerable and quite acceptable in a way. You know, quite useful even. Constructive in his behavior rather than obnoxious. And it is that subtle line, you know, between being irritated, being devoted to some position, you know, and you know, defending something you think needs to be defended, a sincere, aggressive resentment even, and exercising that, and doing it in, you know, where you cross whatever this line is that we all have of that's just too rude, that's too disrespectful. You know, you can call some people an asshole, like me. You can call me an asshole, don't call me a liar. You know, that kind of thing. You know, you'll accept certain critiques and insults, but you won't accept others. And we all have our own personal sensitivities or sensibilities regarding those things. So anyway, I like the word sensibility. I mean, I guess some people might not be familiar with it, but you know, it's just a way of describing the collection of personal taste that you possess. And I just like it as a term for this idea that we're reactive and we have this personal set of reactions, as opposed to you know, the visceral personal set, as opposed to the more cognitive, thoughtful, rational way we might react or understand something if we're being more correct and polite and fair and honest. And you know, it isn't just about our personal experience, personal resentments, memories that are, you know, coloring and flavoring, you know, an emotional reaction rather than just a purely rational reaction, logical reaction. Very hard to make those separations sometimes. Our sensibilities do, you know, flavor our presentation. No matter what we're serving, how we feel about what we're serving is going to affect how we serve it, kind of thing. So anyway, enough of that. So anyway, it's not a bad evening, generally speaking. I mean, yeah, I got to make more out of it. I mean, it's still a failure in many respects, but it's a better variety of failure. Anyway, you guys are doing that. Moving on to the news. A fake amazing atheist showed up last week. Yeah, fooled me for a minute actually, but it was a fake. And you're just saying, why does YouTube allow that kind of stuff? You know, somebody just fake icon, you know, using the exact name, you know, it just, I mean, that shouldn't be something that's possible, you know, and they should correct for it relatively quickly. Shouldn't take too many bannings before the channel is disposed of. You know, but whatever. Not big news, little news. Anyway, in other news, yeah, I almost had a fight with the wayward guy, but you know, I didn't. Obviously, you know, it's a little bit protective of you know, the whole Piro incident and people's opinion that I'm going too far. And, you know, I'm just counter-arguing that you really can't go far enough. All the torture in the world exists because the intellectuals won't do anything to fix anything. They just keep passing the buck to the next generation and keep presuming that the ignorant masses, who they somehow, for some dopey reason, respect, you know, are somehow going to fix it. And they're not. They're the ones making the mess. And if you're not going to fix their behavior, you're going to have to live with the sewage they're going to dump in your drinking water, so to speak, metaphorically and literally. They will turn your better world into a shitty world. It's just a fact. That's what happened where they were. That's why they're leaving, is because they don't like the people they were living with. Because they're pigs. They're running away. But they're pigs too, so they're just going to pig the place up. Anyway, I don't want to get into that argument, because then people just get into this race shit, and it's not about race, it's about culture. And you're allowed not to like a culture. Speaking of the people, a little pass here. How you doing? Hey, dog. Yeah, no bitey. Yeah, no, you stay, keep your distance there, pup. Okay. People and their beasties. Beastie mutts and beastie kids. Anyway, pissing in the water, right? Anyway, I'm sorry. Cheap shot. Anyway, no, moving on. Old fan did a linking video. I used to do that. Yeah, she mentioned, I forgot all about that. Yeah, the downfall was I used to post with the other people's, everybody else's channel in the comment section, but then I kept having people, you know, jump ship, so to speak, you know, traitor on me, and so the list kept getting broken, and you know, I don't know, maybe it's just that I kept switching over to Vlogger Dome. I'd post videos on my website because I'd have strikes on my account, and I guess through all that crap I just forgot. So anyway, that was good. So I'll link to that somewhere, I suppose. That would be the sensible link to the links of the links. Anyway, it's good to have a place to go to get the links, and I eventually will you know, fix my websites with more relevant information relevant to the archive site she's creating. You know, that's a nice little resource, nice collection of data collection, and you know, we'll need organizing and all that stuff, and eventually it will be, yeah, encyclopedic in nature eventually. Anyway, I mean, moving on. What else is news? So the rest of it's just the standard arguments with the standard crap. You know, really just nasty all over the place this week. And yeah, well, you got to do that now and then. You got to, you know, do the fresh air thing, air out the house. So it's good to do that. Make it clear, you know, what it is you're motivated by, and what we're really arguing here. I mean, I don't have the luxury of these glibites. You know, they have this nihilist overall perspective, and so they can negate the importance of any of this shit. It's all academic from their perspective, where from my perspective, this is all real doom, real horror. You know, it's real catastrophe that's laying on the table, and they seem to resent the fact that I take that a little bit seriously. It's what I sincerely believe, that real harm is at stake here. Not, you know, imaginary, not inevitable. Well, I mean, it is inevitable in the sense that we've already decided. This conversation has already taken place in a sense that the, you know, deterministic mechanics of the universe are already, no, wrong way to put it. It will be compelled that it will move in a direction. And although I perceive different models of possibility, there is only one inevitability. But it doesn't change the fact that from my current perspective, all models, not all models, but many models still remain as possibilities. And the only limitation to a model's realization is through this communication. You know, this is how it'll happen. And to assume my failure or to assume success would be insane. It'd be illogical. I have to assume based on the information that's provided. And if I know catastrophe is possible, and I know, I mean, the information indicates potentiality, and the information indicates that there's also a potential for success, I have to choose to read the script of the success model. That will be my compulsion. Yeah, something like that. So, in other news, I did do a little bit of programming stuff, so I'm going to try to do a little more of that. Get some more user-friendly, user-useful kind of tools, blah, blah, blah. Have some ideas. Just I don't have the time, but see how it goes. Working on the Vlogger Dome stuff. I got a whole bunch of creative work to do. I only got 10 days to do it, so I gotta get going. And also, I just can't even. Yeah, I can't even get. You know, I haven't even gotten one computer. I haven't even got the hard drives put in. So I mean, shit. I'm way behind. And it's, you know, weather's kind of pleasant. Could be warmer. I mean, for July, this is kind of cold. So that's kind of a bummer. But you know, I'm not going to complain too much. You know, as it beats the fuck out of winter. That's for sure. I'm going to try to take in so much of it that I become sick of it, and then I'll want winter. Well, that's really not going to happen, is it? You know, you really can't get sick on a nice day. Nope. Anyway. Ah, damn it. Anyways, ruining my day. So, in other news, yeah, I don't know if there is much. Nobody else does anything. I wish there was some better, more rational arguments. You know, I've already characterized, you know, Holiday, Pirro, Skyzer. These are non-starter positions from my perspective. Pirro just says you can't change anything, and there's so much of a mess, it doesn't matter if I make more of a mess, which is just clearly a silly rationalization for his selfish indulgences. You know, Skyzer believes there's mysteries unsolved in the universe that are somehow relevant to the existence of life. You know, denying replication for the sake of replication, of course, and denying that it's just a silly phenomenon of material interaction. And this is just one of the silly spins, you know, that matter can do. And it's just a silly spin. it's not an accomplishment. It's not a grand success story. It's, you know, it's a horrible, awful matricide, patricide, childicide. It's just a bunch of asides happening, a bunch of crimes against the precious commodities. All right, let's see, anything else? So yeah, you know, Luddite returns irrelevant kook. You know, he wants a more poetic antinatalism, you know, some sort of emotional antinatalism, where you just, you know, for all of eternity, you know, put your face in your hands and go, you know, the horror, and pretend you're a deep thinker and be proud of yourself that you've recognized the horror, and therefore it's beautiful horror because you recognized it and you tear to tear. I mean, just insane emotionalism. What else? Yeah, Quinta guy doesn't even deserve. I don't know why. I mean, people should understand that Quinta guy is a known, proven terrorist, internet terrorist, who tries to sabotage people's personal lives for their philosophical beliefs. And you really shouldn't be legitimizing his contribution in any way. He's a fucker. Yeah, a fucking bastard. So anyway, little creepoids in my damn pool. Son of a bitch. Damn. Anyway, till next time.